Hi, this is week 7 of Sidekicks at Home. Martial arts lesson for today is how to do a form. Not necessarily how to do any specific form, but how to do them all and how to do them better. I have a book here. I don't know if you can see the title from that far away, but it's called Bubishi, The Classic Manual of Combat by Patrick McCarthy. And the reason I'm showing you this is it's probably the oldest martial arts text ever found, and it took the gentleman a long time to translate it. But the one part in here that I thought was interesting was that people practiced martial arts with a person, and then when that person wasn't around, they still wanted to practice, so they developed what they would call a form or a pattern. But it was still a visualization of what the person was doing when they were with the opponent or with their partner. So I want you to understand that a form is not just a pattern of movements that you do to get a belt. It's a way to practice your skills and to perfect your movements. But the visualization of the attacker and the opponent is vital to it. So there's a mind-body connection in a form, not just the physical movements. Obviously we want the physical movements to be done properly, but we want the visualization. When you have the visualization, then you will probably have a better looking form. So there's a lot of little details, and I'm going to break down. We're going to work on technique form number 1 today. I'll break it down into details as to how you do it, and then you apply these same details to every single form that you do. So the first thing when you go into a form is you want to do a clearing breath to cleanse and clear your mind. So we start in an attention position. Then we go to Chun-Bi, ready position, take that good clearing breath, focus your mind on what's ahead. Now, first thing, you want to look in the direction you're going and get your, in this case, we're going to get our hands set quickly for a low block. Setting the hands quickly is important because if you set them slow, by the time you get to the actual block, you're probably too late. So let's set them quick, we look and turn, and then we execute our technique. The thing about technique is it needs to be done quickly with what we call acceleration. So when I'm setting the hands, I'm taking a breath in, and then as I turn, even though I'm not key-apping on every move, I should be exhaling. And it's important to accelerate to get this hand from here to here as quickly as possible and get this hand back as quickly as possible. That shows quickness and sharpness in your hand techniques. Now, I'm in a walking stance. Looks like I'm just in a natural walking position. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to raise this hand slightly to aim in the direction I'm punching, because aiming is super important. I want to hit the proper technique, proper target. In this case, it's the solar plexus. And I'll snap my hand, getting those knuckles right in line with the middle of my body and the solar plexus. Now, one thing about forms, it's designed to build symmetry. Both sides should be equal. So again, inhale, quickly set those hands. I'm looking behind me. I'm going to get my turnaround, accelerate those hands. Start aiming toward the target, quick punch. Now, I'm going down the middle and get those hands set. In this case, I'm going into a long front stance, so I want to make sure my feet get into the right position, accelerate those hands. There's no step on this next move, so all I'm going to do is quickly accelerate those hands. I'm doing a reverse inward block. Next move, get those hands set. Set them quickly, look. I'm going to squeeze and pinch my feet together to come to the center point, accelerate my hand out. In this next move, I'm going to keep my hand up. As I walk into position, snap. Again, quickly set those hands, look where I'm going, get my feet around, pop that hand into the block position, hold it up, and accelerate that hand. Going back down the middle, set, get my stance, bam! So what really looks good is when your hand finishes and your stance finish at the same time. Shows coordination, shows synchronicity between the upper and the lower body. And then we do that quick reverse punch. Now I'm going to do a high block. Set the hands for the high block. Look, I'm going to just squeeze my feet together, snap that position. I'm going to square. Squaring guards a vital spot, which is my solar plexus. I'm going to do a nice snap front kick to the solar plexus, and then a punch. So what was important, I'm going to go back and show you that again. I'm in a high block. When I square and I do my kick, I need to come back to that balance point. Reason being is I don't want my foot to go too far forward. When I land, I want to control it. So again, I'm in a high block position, square, kick, balance point, put it right down, snap that punch. So when you come to balance, you have the ability to put your foot anywhere you want. Then I have to set my hands again for high block, snap to high block position. Same thing on the other side. Square and guard, front kick balance, snap. Now, watch my feet if you can see them in this next move. I'll bring my left foot together and set my hands here, sliding in, snap, slide in, turn around. Always come to Chumbi position and snap. You're not done until you bow out of this. Then attention, Gam Saham Nida. Using Taeuk 1 as my example form, I just demonstrated quite a bit about the little details about how to perform the form better. But why are we doing these movements? We're doing them in relationship to an attack or attacker. And so building that spatial awareness and spatial relationship between you and the attacker, even though when the attacker's not there, develops and uses a really high level ability in your mind, which is for little children, this is tough because they have a hard time orientating to space. And as you develop as a human being, as you get a little bit older, your ability to relate to space increases. So doing forms can help children develop the spatial relationships even quicker, and for adults, helps them develop both sides of their brain equally well because they're using right and left, and then the spatial relationships help them with other parts of their mind that they don't use on a day-to-day basis when you're just sitting at a desk and doing your work. So we're going to look at the first move, which is a low block. So we have to visualize a front kick. We set those hands quickly and we move. Now, that kick's coming, and if you've practiced before, you've seen a person. They're usually out here about a leg length away. That knee comes up, they extend that kick, and you're going to catch and block them right down by their ankle bone, right above their foot. So you visualize that kick come in, you knock that kick out to the side, then you see where the person is. The person's at the end of that leg. And we're always using somebody our size. So we use our body as the targeting. So we're going to use our solar plexus, which is this height right here. And so once I block that kick, and I start to target and aim, and when I talked about aiming, it isn't two moves. It's actually I'm doing it while I'm moving. So I visualize the kick coming in. I know they're kicking because I looked. And I got my hands and I block that kick, and as I'm moving in, and I snap right to their solar plexus. I'm going to repeat the same thing the other side. Come around, block that kick. Follow them in along their leg right to their solar plexus. Somebody's coming down the middle because we're doing always a form. Typically we have 4 attackers is a general rule. This person's throwing a kick and I block that kick. Again, at the end of the person's leg, there's their body. I use my own solar plexus height, but in this case I'm not stepping in because they may have fallen forward in this case after they did the kick. So I just drive my hand into their solar plexus. Person over here decides to throw a punch at my face. I'll swing my hand across and block that punch. The punch is always coming about this high on us in this case. It's a face punch at the philtrum level. So I block that there. At the end of their punch, follow their arm in, punch them in the solar plexus. Guy behind me is going to throw another punch. Get those hands around, block that punch, follow their arm in, punch them in the solar plexus. Person over here is throwing a front kick with the other leg. Block that kick, They fell into the kick, and I'll drive my hand into their solar plexus. This person here is going to do like an overhead attack. So I'll set my hands for a high block, and I block, overhead attack. I guard, I'll kick them in the solar plexus, and then punch them in the same spot. Person over here, same thing, coming down with a downward attack, blocking that attack, guarding myself, throwing that kick, coming into their solar plexus. Somebody on this side is coming with a kick, but I'm going to change my position and block. In this case, they went back with their foot, so I'm stepping into the punch. Ha! And I'll come around. So, the 4 things that are important about a form, and this is how I grade you. Grade from the ground up. Stance, number 1. 2, how you move from position to position. So that's all part of stance. Let's just say that's all part of stance. It's not just the stationary part, is the movement from position to position. Second thing is eye control. Eye control, keeping those eyes level, looking where I'm going, turning first, visualizing the opponent, and finding the targets. The third thing is having proper execution. So I want to make sure when I throw a punch, I have the proper form of my fist. Throw a kick, proper foot position on my kick, and everything that goes into proper technique. The fourth thing, good, strong ki-op. Express your spirit. At the end of the form or whenever there's a ki-op point in the form, it should draw and catch everybody's attention.